Welcome back, class. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to jump right into the Google form here. We're in week 8, part 3. We're going to go over the Google form answers that I sent out on Sunday. So let's jump right in here. So you're looking at my iPad screen here, and hopefully last week's video made a lot of sense. You know how to multiply and divide fractions. Next week's video on Sunday and Monday will be based on mixed numbers. So adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, that type of thing. So we're going to do mixed numbers with decimals and fractions. So hopefully it'll kind of all mix together and work out. But again, this is the last week coming up. I know a lot of you have been actively participating. Thank you for that. If you haven't, you can always go back and watch some of those older videos. But again, reminder, next Wednesday, so not this week, but obviously next week's video. That's the last week's. On Wednesday is the day when all late work, redo assignments, fixes, everything's due if you're trying to improve your grade, that type of thing. I think the district is sending out a reminder email to everyone that check-in days for books and Chromebooks and payments for everything is due next week. So keep that in mind, that they're going to send out dates and emails and stuff. So they'll send them out. All right, let's jump right in here. The first problem out of our 10 that we had in the Google form was 7/12 divided by 2/3. And again, your problems might have been out of order because it shuffled them, but this is the first problem that I added. Again, when you divide fractions, you're actually supposed to change this to multiplication, and the second fraction will flip over. Now, when you flip it over, you can just multiply straight across. So if you want to write this as 21 over 24, you're perfectly happy to do that because when you multiply fractions, you just go straight across. It's real easy. Now, you can simplify. Now, what I mean by that, simplifying can work up and down. So if they both had, maybe both numbers had something in common vertically, like this, which they don't, or when you multiply, this only works for multiplication, you can simplify diagonally. So this problem, you could have simplified the 3's here and the 12. I could have divided them both by 3 and got 4 on the bottom here and a 1 on the top of that fraction, because if I divide them both by 3. Then you can multiply straight across and get 7/8. This fraction is the same as 21 over 24. It's the same. So getting 21 out of 24 is the same exact score as somebody getting 7 out of 8. That's the idea. Again, you didn't need to simplify, you could. Now, let's jump to the next one. That was the first one. Second problem, same exact idea. I'm going to change that division sign to multiplication because we don't technically divide fractions. You flip the second fraction over, then you can multiply straight across. So we get 10 over 45. Now, this one can simplify just like before. You look up and down, see if anything can simplify there, or you look diagonally, and diagonally here, the 5's, I can divide both those numbers by 5, so this would be 2 over 3 and 1 over 3, because I could divide both by 5, so this would turn out to be a 1, and that would be a 3 if I divide them both. Then you can go straight across, and you get 2 over 9, which is the same fraction as 10 over 45. All right, moving on. Multiplying. On this one, you look up and down, nothing. You look kitty corner, there's nothing they have in common, so you just multiply straight across. So it looks like I'm going to get 8 over 21. Now again, I didn't have to flip anything. This was already multiplication, it wasn't division. I don't need to flip fractions over or anything like that. I can just automatically simplify and go from there. So keep that in mind. Again, you only simplify once it's in multiplication stage. So just keep that in mind. Like on this one, I don't want to simplify yet. I want to change that division sign. This one has division, so I'm going to multiply and flip that second fraction over. So then I can look at dividing. So the ones here, they already have in common, so I don't need to do that. I'm going to divide both of these by 4's, so that's a 1 and a 3. If I multiply straight across, you get 1 over 3. Now, if I would have just left this earlier, I could have just multiplied across and got 4 over 12. That's the same fraction as 1/3. So, problem number 5 here. It's already multiplication, so I don't need to flip any fractions. I can look diagonally and see if there's anything, or I can just multiply straight across if you want and get 15 over 42. Now, like I said earlier, I could simplify. I could have divided these diagonal numbers by 3, those two. The 5 and 7 don't have anything in common, so then when I go straight across, I get 5 over 14. That is the same fraction as 15 over 42. They're the same score. All right, division. So on this one, I'm going to have to flip it over. The second fraction will flip. And then now that it's flipped, I can simplify if I want. If I want to just go straight across, get 36 over 40, I can do that. Just multiply straight across. But I can actually simplify this. The 8 and 12, they both have 4s in common, so I can divide both of those numbers by 4. So if I divide a 8 by 4, I get 2. If I divide a 12 by 4, I get 3. Then when I multiply straight across, I get 9 over 10. It's the same as that. These are the same. All right. We're on problem number 7 here. It's already multiplying, so I don't need to flip anything over. I can just go straight across and get 20 over, what is 12 times 9? Is that 98? So, 108. 108, in fact. In fact, I'm going to type that in my calculator here just to confirm that that's the right number. Let's transfer my calculator here. 9 times 12. So, times 12, 108. Okay, so good. Let's jump right back to my iPad here. Okay, so we got 108. Now, if I wanted to, I could have simplified this. The 12 and 4 could have simplified. Divide these both by 4, get 1 and a 3. So when I go straight across, I get 5 over 27. The reason why I would simplify, because I say these are the same fractions, it makes numbers easier. Like in this case, I didn't need to go to the calculator to go the 3 times 9. But the 9 times 12 I had to, just to confirm that I got the 108. So again, multiplying is the easiest thing in the world. Adding and subtracting is harder because you got to get the same denominator before you can just add the tops or subtract the tops. But in multiplying you don't, you just go straight across. So it's kind of nice. Same with division, you just got to flip it and multiply. We're on problem number 9, so we've got 3 problems left. Or problem number 8, we got 3 problems left here. Alright, so this one, it's already multiplying. I don't need to flip anything. I can just go straight across and get 15 over 24. Or if I wanted to, I could try to look diagonally. Nothing. Yes, I can simplify the 3 and 6. That's a 1 and a 2 if I divide them both by 3. So I've got 5 over 8 if I went straight across. 1 times 5 and the 4 times 2. These are the same fraction. Let's go to problem number 9 now. I could go straight across and get 20 over 40, which is half. Or I could simplify these by dividing both by 5, dividing these both by 4, and sure enough, I'd get 1 over 2, which is half, or 20 out of 40. And the last problem, number 10 on our Google form, I'm going to flip that second fraction over. You can hear my dog in the background snoring. I'm going to flip that second fraction over, and then I can go straight across. This I'm going to need my calculator again. Let me transfer my calculator here, clear it out, what we had earlier. What do we have? 6 times 14. So I'm going to get an 84 on the top, and then a 21 on the bottom. I could have simplified if I wanted to on this one, and you can leave it like 84 over 21, which I think divides perfectly to 4, I think. But if I wanted to, I could have simplified a little bit. I could have divided these both by 3 to get a 1 and a 2, and then divided these both by 7 to get 1 and 2. And so this would have ended up being 4 over 1, which is the number 4. So it actually did justify doing it that way. Alright, so that was the last problem that I had. Let's clear that out. Good. Again, thank you for all those who are actively participating each week in doing some of these activities. I really appreciate it. I know some of you have already emailed me about improving your grade and whatnot. All that late work and redo assignments are due by Wednesday next week. Sunday will be one of my last few activities I'm going to send out for next week. And then I know the school sending out emails for the end of the year stuff, check-ins and all that, book check-ins and lockers and all that good stuff. So keep an eye on your emails. I know we're voting on student council members next week and all that good stuff. So again, hoping that you're taking care of yourself, you're staying healthy. That's first priority, and hopefully you're finding that these are at least helping you out a little bit and keeping your education going. But again, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you real soon.